So let's just go over what exactly happened. So of course the
And you're better
Bloodline
at that.
starts
So
out
yes.
the way they have been over the last 2 weeks, just, you know, causing mayhem, doing what they do. And then Roman comes out in his glorious ways. And it's funny because as much as we see Roman come out, I feel like this was one of those times, or maybe the first time, I don't know, where I actually like appreciated his entrance. I don't know why, but I think it's grown on me because at the beginning, I didn't like his music and I just didn't like it. But I actually really enjoyed it last night. Or on SmackDown. I don't know why, but I did. So they have a talking segment in the ring and things get weird pretty quickly.
This was weird.
Yeah, so Roman was talking about the match that he had with Sammy against Kevin Owens and John Cena last week, and he blamed Sammy for the loss because technically he is the one who took the pin. So Roman did not lose because we can't have the tribal chief lose a match, obviously. And then he started talking about Sammy acting as if he wanted to be him and be the tribal chief. And so Sammy was like super caught off guard. And I have some quotes of the things that Roman said.
Oh my
So,
God, let's go. I
so
want to hear. I can do this, so let's
in
go.
in reference to him losing, he said, that's just something I don't understand because the tribal chief, mind you, tribal chief is capitalized. I just think it's so funny. The tribal chief doesn't lose. It's not in my DNA. It's not in my makeup. So he said that to Sammy right away. He said, the tribal chief calls my shot and I always deliver because he felt like Sammy saying that they were going to come out with a win. Like, why was he saying that? Because then he didn't deliver and he's the one who lost. And he said, why are you doing things like me? Do you want to be me? Why do you think you can do it? So lots of heat there. And then just to be the pot stirrer that he is, Kevin Owens comes out, takes advantage of the moment and the fact that Roman is kind of on edge, challenges him to an undisputed WWE Universal Championship match at Royal Rumble. Roman accepts pretty nonchalantly and dismissive in a dismissive manner. So I felt like that worked really well because that was something, just to go with the bloodline. I've talked about how I felt like it was getting kind of stale. So I liked that because we hadn't I enjoyed always seeing kind of like the tension with the bloodline, and we haven't seen that in a while, which is good. We wanted Sammy to be an official member, but I liked that moment and everything else, which we'll talk about as we go through the show. But yeah, I liked Kevin Owens coming out and doing his thing, getting his match, and you kind of predicted that. So
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I'm happy that we finally got the announcement this week because it was just lulling along. Like, you knew it's one of those things where you know it's going to happen. Just get it out there for everyone to
yeah,
hear.
and
And
now that we're finally like 3 weeks away, it's like,
yeah,
okay,
it's okay to build it up now. And I like how they did it too with KO coming out because it kind of shows he's standing up for Sammy. It
mm-hmm,
shows that's family, familia.
mm-hmm,
And it's a little bit like, he's standing up for him. And then as he left, he says, I'll see you when, you pick your balls up out of Roman's pocket.
yeah.
And that's another sentence where it's like, yeah, I said I was done with you and all this, but like, no, you're going to come crawling back at some point and I'm here for you. And it's
I
the little details in the story, right? Storytelling that I love about it.
yeah, and I'm gonna mention this again later, but I feel this plays into that too. Is it feels like they're planting seeds for the eventual end of Sammy being in the bloodline, or I mean the breakup, the whatever it is, however they decide to do that. And when we get into the other segments that happened with them later, I feel like they were doing a really good job with that. And it was kind of one of those things where I feel like you have to actually be invested in the storyline and super paying attention to those little details because otherwise it would probably just go over your head.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I think they're doing a much better job. I was a lot more interested this time around. And, because when I first heard, since I am on the West Coast, I do not get to watch SmackDown live. So I see spoilers 99% of the time before I watch. and I saw that the Bloodline was starting out, I just like sighed. I'm just like, okay, like, is this just going to be another night where they're just like beating everybody up, and then it's just like, we're the Bloodline, and it's like, okay, like, we get it. You're angry, you're so mad, and it's just like, okay,
So
you know,
mad.
like, it's just like I was just over it, but I was glad that it progressed into something that we haven't seen in a while. And then, of course, all the twists and turns that come throughout the show made it a little bit more interesting, you know?
Interesting. It was interesting.